When it comes to shock music and provocative performance art, the name Marilyn Manson, whose birth name was Brian Hugh Warner, is virtually synonymous. From his stratospheric rise in the 1990s to his dramatic fall from grace in recent years, Manson's career has been distinguished by music that pushes the boundaries of what is considered acceptable, controversial stage antics, and a public presence that has courted both acclaim and anger. In this video, we will go into the complex journey that Marilyn Manson has taken, examining the elements that contributed to his rise to prominence, the apex of his impact, and the scandals that finally led to his fall from grace. Formative years, the beginnings of a breakthrough experience. At the beginning of the 1990s, Hugh Warner decided to take on the stage name Marilyn Manson. He did this by combining the names of the actress Marilyn Monroe and the cult leader Charles Manson in order to convey the contrast between good and evil. In 1989, Marilyn Manson and the Spooky Kids were created by Manson, who was accompanied by guitarist Scott Putesky, who was also known as Daisy Berkowitz. The band immediately established a following in the underground music scene of South Florida, where they were recognized for their theatrical live performances and their dark, gothic style. It was their debut album, Portrait of an American Family, 1994, which was produced by Trent Reznor of 9 Inch Nails, that brought them to the forefront of the music industry. In addition to including industrial rock, the album featured shocking lyrical content that was critical of mainstream American culture. This album was the beginning of Marilyn Manson's career. However, the album Antichrist Superstar that Marilyn Manson released in 1996 was the one that brought her to the forefront of public attention. Young people who were dissatisfied with their lives responded well to this concept album, which had themes of defiance and destruction. As a result, Manson became the new face of shock rock, peak of fame, cultural impact, and controversy. By the late 1990s, Marilyn Manson had become a household figure, renowned as much for his music as for his controversial persona. He was also known for his controversial persona. Albums such as Mechanical Animals, 1998, and Hollywood, In the Shadow of the Valley of Death, 2000, contributed to the further consolidation of his status as a provocateur. Manson's music videos, stage performances, and public appearances were all intended to disturb and defy conventional standards. He frequently incorporated horrific imagery, religious symbolism, and themes of violence and nihilism into his work. Beyond the realm of music, Manson became a cultural hero who reflected the concerns and anxieties of conservative Americans. His influence also stretched beyond the realm of music. His concerts were frequently blockaded by religious organizations, and he was accused of encouraging satanism, violence, and moral degeneration. His concerts were also frequently picketed. Following the murder that took place at Columbine High School in 1999, the controversy reached its zenith. At that time, the media and certain politicians incorrectly accused Manson for having an influence on the individuals who carried out the slaughter. Manson became a scapegoat in the national discussion over violence and the impact of the media, despite the fact that there was no evidence linking his music to the tragedy. While Manson continued to make songs and tour throughout the 2000s, the fractures in his public character began to show. This was the beginning of the downfall, which manifested itself in the form of legal troubles and accusations. It was reported that the individual was engaging in unpredictable conduct, abusing substances, and having complicated relationships. The formerly untouchable reputation of Manson as a minstrel of shock rock began to deteriorate, and his antics, which had previously appeared to be defiant and daring, began to appear desperate and self-destructive. Manson has responded to the charges with a combination of denial and disdain all throughout the process. His innocence has been steadfastly maintained, and he has referred to the allegations as horrible distortions of reality. On the other hand, the magnitude of the evidence and the number of individuals who have accused him have made it increasingly challenging for him to regain his previous stature. Despite the fact that the legal battles are still ongoing, it appears that the harm done to Manson's career image is irreparable. Now, Marilyn Manson's legacy will live on. It is impossible to deny the enormous impact that Marilyn Manson has had on music and popular culture. Despite the scandals and the fall from grace that she has experienced, he broke new ground in the realm of mainstream music by combining elements of industrial rock and performance art, thereby pushing the boundaries of what was considered acceptable. He has left an indelible mark on the goth and industrial music scenes, and his work has served as a source of inspiration for a great number of musicians and artists. A complicated legacy is left behind by Manson. In addition to being recognized as a revolutionary artist who pushed the boundaries of cultural standards, he is also remembered as a controversial personality whose personal acts have overshadowed the contributions he made to the artistic world. The lessons that can be learned from his career are about the dangers of celebrity and the repercussions of behavior that is not adequately monitored. Observations and reflections on the contributions of Manson's art. Marilyn Manson's artistic achievements continue to be noteworthy, despite the problems that have cast a shadow over his later career. His early work, in particular albums like his Antichrist Superstar and Mechanical Animals, caused a paradigm shift in the world of alternative and industrial music. The albums in question were not merely musical undertakings. Rather, they were all-encompassing creative statements that comprised elaborate stage performances, music videos that were visually spectacular, and a public character that had been deliberately manufactured. When it came to the concept of what it meant to be a rock star in the 1990s and early 2000s, the ability of Marilyn Manson to combine music and performance art established a new benchmark. Numerous modern artists who aim to combine music with visual and performance art in ways that are similarly controversial have been influenced by him, and his impact can be seen in their works. Marilyn Manson's career shines light on the broader societal implications of notoriety and the consequences of fame. This is one of the many ways in which her career sheds light on these issues. His rise to fame occurred during a period in which the media landscape was undergoing significant transformations. The introduction of the internet and the creation of news cycles that run around the clock amplified both his message and the opposition to it. The ability of Charles Manson to stir and manipulate public opinion was a double-edged blade that brought him tremendous notoriety while also making him a lightning rod for the fears of society. Celebrities have the potential to become scapegoats for bigger cultural problems, as evidenced by the extreme scrutiny and condemnation they have received in the aftermath of incidents such as the Columbine Student Massacre. The narrative of Charles Manson shows the delicate balance that must be maintained that exists between the use of one's platform to challenge norms and the possibility that the same platform could become a source of falling down. Marilyn Manson's narrative serves as a warning about the darker side of celebrity society as he continues to deal with the personal and legal fallout from the accusations made against him. A re-examination of his legacy and the way the entertainment business handles claims of abuse and misbehavior has been sparked by the ongoing legal fights and the testimonials of his victims. This reappraisal is a part of a larger cultural movement that demands that influential people take responsibility for their deeds, regardless of their contributions to art or public personalities. The current discussion concerning consent, power relations, and the obligations of public personalities and artists has been enriched by Manson's case. The accusations and the lessons learned from Marilyn Manson's rise and fall will always be a part of her history, even though his influence on music and art will probably never fade. So what do you think? Tell us in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.